This show brought to you by K&N Filters.
Stop throwing your money away on disposable air filters. One K&N washable air filter can last the life of your car. Install one in 5 minutes. Better value and better for the environment. K&N, available where auto parts are sold.
Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Darin Ganji, and I'm here for my review of the Mad Catz Pro Racing Force Feedback Wheel and Pedal Set. Available only for the Xbox One. Supposedly going to be compatible with the PC in the future, but that has not yet been announced, and there is no driver for the PC yet. So basically, you only run it with one game. Some of you may have seen my unboxing, and if you haven't, you may want to check that out if you just want to see everything that comes in it. I'm not going to go over all that again because some of you complained it was a little long, and I'd like to apologize. It was a tad long and may have been boring to some, but kind of just wanted to show you guys everything I was seeing as I was seeing it. So anyway, this isn't Mad Catz's first go-around as far as making a racing wheel. The last one they made was a few years back on the Xbox 360, and we reviewed it here on our channel. So if you're interested in seeing what that was all about, just do a search here on our channel. We'd appreciate you checking that out. But this one's been was announced quite a while ago. Was delayed. I think it was originally supposed to come out in March, but just became available last month in July. So it's only been out for about a month. And first thing I'm going to do is, speaking of boxes, I'm going to talk about the box cover stuff. A lot of stuff that you'll see here on the box cover that I pulled from their press release at their site. Just talking about what this new offering from Mad Catz is all about. So first up, 900 or 270 degrees of rotation. Now, that's just from a flip of a switch. Some of this is going to be box cover and some of this is going to be just some specs and information. Anyway, 900 to 270, but you can also adjust that degrees of rotation in-game on Forza 5. So let's say you want to run 330 or 420 or 550, whatever. You can adjust that slider in Forza 5 to allow that. So there is more than just 900 to 270. Features a modular design allowing the system to be expanded in the future. Nothing has been announced on that front yet, but it is quick release on their wheel hub, so and I'm assuming they're going to come out with a 3-pedal set, maybe a shifter. I have no idea. They have not told me, and I haven't heard any announcements on any of that stuff. It has dual force feedback motors with a helical gear drive system. And you can also set the steering wheel's rake angle to one of 4 settings ranging from 0 to 15 degrees. And that you can do that with an included Allen key. Now, or hex key. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can actually, which I've got here, I've got it adjusted up as far as it'll go. You can adjust the tilt of the wheel with just some quick adjustments on those hex key, which is pretty cool. I've never seen something like that on a console wheel like this. The aluminum steering wheel is wrapped with genuine suede leather. Now, originally I thought it was Alcantara, but this is supposedly genuine suede, and I actually smelled it, and it does smell and feel like suede, so they're saying it's real suede. Twin paddles promote instant gear shifting and are made of solid aluminum. Durable metal and strong ABS plastics impart the feeling of quality and craftsmanship, while high-end precision internal components like the wheel shaft's dual roller bearings boost racing efficiency. Wheel is 10.5 inches wide and about 10 inches from top to bottom, and it's a D-shaped rim. Maybe they're going to come out with some variable. I'm not sure. Comes with a 2-pedal set, and so brake and gas or throttle, and this is how they're referring to them. Mimicking the adjustability commonly found on race-prepped coil-over suspension, the pedal's spring force and travel both conform to individual preferences. The pedal spacing can be set to 9 different lateral positions, and they're also height adjustable to offer a choice of upright or reclined configurations. And the pedal frame introduces the sensation of footwell limits, replicating the unique perspective of pro racers. So that's what I was wondering what those wings were. They're basically mimicking, the confines of a car's footwell. The aluminum face pedals employ non-contact position sensing technology to increase longevity and reliability. So that's about it for the pedals. Actually, there's more on the pedals here on the mounting options. Versatile mounting options. For a complete stable response, attach the wheel to your table or desk with the included clamps, which honestly I did not try. This thing's directly compatible, as it says it right on the box here, with the play seat. So I just took advantage of the one that I had here. I had a Forza branded play seat, and I thought, well, what the heck, I might as well check it out. So I did not try the clamps. Honestly, I couldn't tell you how they work. They look substantial, but I personally prefer mounting it to a wheel stand rig, something along those lines, just for better performance. So whatever if I attach it to this thing, it'd be shaking all over the place. If you have a desk, I'm sure that would be substantial enough. Good wheel stand would definitely work. Also comes with some lap wings, like I mentioned in the unboxing, so you could basically run it on your lap. So here's some more box cover on the versatile mounting options. Taking a decisive step beyond commonplace installations, the Mad Catz Pro Racing Force Feedback Wheel and Pedal System easily integrates into playseat revolution and evolution. Providing the means for the ultimate home racing rig, you benefit from uncompromising performance coupled with striking aesthetics. Now, I agree with attaching it to a rig, and supposedly it's compatible with a bunch of different rigs as far as the drilling options go. So your mileage may vary depending on what you go for, but this thing bolted right up to the play seat. As a matter of fact, one of the cool options was it has these two metal skis for the pedals, or you can bolt the pedal set right to the center bar on the play seat, which is exactly how I have it. And I'll show you guys some footage of it here. But that was pretty cool that they included it as an option like that. So, does this wheel compare to the competition in the same price range? You're going to have to be the judge of that. I'm not going to really make any direct comparisons here. Obviously, its direct competitor is the Thrustmaster TX, the only competitor, honestly, on the Xbox One as of right now. I'm going to make one slight comparison, and I'll mention it in a few, but for the most part, you guys can be the judge of whether or not you want this wheel and pedal set versus the TX. No rev scale on this. We've gone away from the rev scale. Just going to tell you my opinion, some thoughts on it, pros and cons, recapping it with some pros and cons, and then some final thoughts. So, first up, the original wheel that I had a slight issue with it, where the center was about 10 degrees off or so. And this is, I will mention other wheels, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, Logitech. They have a system to where if their wheel's off center, you can reflash the firmware to an extent, or basically do a button configuration press to recenter the wheel. Well, unfortunately, the Mad Catz does not offer that. So, and I've seen some other people, a guy emailed me, I saw a guy that was doing some videos, he was running it on a Fanatic Rennsport stand, and then I also saw in the Forza forums that some people had that issue. Unfortunately, there's no fix for it because of the optical sensor, and it's a flaw from their manufacturing. Now, Mad Catz has assured me that they are on top of this, and they've also assured me that if you have this same issue, all you got to do is get in touch with customer service, and they will replace your wheel. So, a lot of times stuff like this happens in first production runs, and a lot of times they can't avoid it. I'm sure, I haven't read where this is manufactured. I'm sure it says it on the box here, but I would imagine it's in China. And China's known for having some issues as far as their manufacturing and quality goes. I don't see it on the box, but anyway, I'm assuming it was manufactured in China. Maybe somebody from Mad Catz or elsewhere could chime in and let me know if that's not the case. But anyway, those things happen on first production runs. That being said, Mad Catz wants to make sure you are a happy customer if you buy this wheel. So if you have that issue or any other issues, get in touch with their customer service and they will do all they can to make sure you are a happy customer. So, hated to have to say that about it, but the first wheel I got was like that. I told them about it, asked them if there was a fix, and they quickly sent me another one, which is why I have a whole box here, because I'm going to send this back to them for evaluation so they can try to figure out exactly what that problem was. But they sent me another one. Perfect. Center perfect. Didn't didn't have any problems with it. One of the reasons they said that was an issue is because, you know, they use this optical sensor, which doesn't require the calibration method that a lot of the other wheels on the market do. So every time we boot up a wheel, it goes left to right. The Mad Catz doesn't do that. It's built to stay at center with that optical sensor. So anyway, again, I hated to have to say that, but it was an issue. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to tell you guys was because to tell you that there isn't a fix for it except for to get another wheel, and they will honor your warranty and make sure to get you one that's right. So, like I had mentioned, you can currently only drive this with Forza Motorsport 5 on the Xbox One. They are talking about future PC compatibility and the ability to do firmware upgrades. Maybe they can figure out a firmware upgrade to fix that centering issue, I don't know. But I was kind of hoping it would be PC compatible at this time so I could try it with more than one title. I do like Forza 5 a lot, so it wasn't a problem for me, but I would have... Force feedback definitely varies from the console to the PC. On the PC, it's just, I guess a good way to put it is much more robust. And so it would have been nice to be able to test it on iRacing, rFactor 2, Assetto Corsa, Project Cars, but I couldn't. So, you know, in the future, hopefully they're gonna make it compatible for the PC, and it's gonna be compatible hopefully with all the other games that'll be coming out on the Xbox One. Okay, so let's talk about the wheel. And first thing I want to say about it is, and it's got to be due to the helical gears. And I don't feel it, like if I'm just turning it right here without the force feedback on, I'm not feeling, I mean, I feel a little bit of notchiness from the gears, but as soon as that force feedback kicks in on Forza 5, it feels really, it's hard to explain exactly, but gritty, or like it's grinding. It just doesn't turn smoothly like it does here, and maybe I can get you some close-up footage and mic it so you can hear exactly what I'm feeling, but it doesn't have a lot of newer wheels are belt driven, and it doesn't have that smooth turning sensation that some of the belt drive wheels have. Now, I will say this, you know, I am going to compare it to the TX because that's the only other wheel on the, this is where I was going to compare it. That's the only other wheel that's available on the Xbox One. I am able to run similar lap times with this wheel. Matter of fact, I was doing the Rivals mode, the Coyote at Indy, and you have to be really precise to be able to run that flat out. And actually, I was able to run a little bit quicker, and it's been a while since I've run it with the Thrustmaster, so I'd have to go back and forth, but I was able to beat my time with this wheel. So it's a precise wheel, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying I'm faster with this wheel, it's just, you know, the more time you put in any car and at any track, you're gonna most likely gain time. So, and with any piece of equipment, you know, you could be using a DF-GT with those crappy pedals and get fast. You know, it's just getting used to your equipment. So, that being said, it's a precise wheel, and running Indy, you have to be really precise, and I didn't have any problems with the precision. It's just, again, a little on the gritty or grindy side. Maybe they can fix that with a firmware, but that's something I honestly didn't care for much. Paddle shifters are nicely placed, and actually there's a second set of pedals that say LSB and RSB, second set of paddles, excuse me, that I was hoping I could use for a clutch. Because since there's no clutch, I wanted to be able to clutch it. Or maybe look left to right with them. There's no functionality with those paddles at all, and you can't map it. So maybe that's something that's going to come in a future Forza update. But that bottom paddle was pretty much worthless and honestly kind of got in the way a little bit. As far as the top paddles go, I'm used to having paddles that offer a click when you get to the full press. On all wheels on the market for the most part, they have that click. So you just know that you've hit, you know, your gears, it's a positive click. These don't, but I mean, basically you push them in and they shift gears. So they work really good. And I like the placement of them. They were nicely placed. They're aluminum, so they felt good. So again, I didn't have a problem with them. I'm just used to paddles with a click. So let's talk a little bit more about the wheel. A little bit small for my liking, 10.5 inches from left to right, and only 10 inches from top to bottom. Didn't bother me on some cars like that Coyote I was talking about, IndyCar. Felt right. Even bigger cars, it didn't feel wrong. As a matter of fact, I still enjoyed driving with it, but I just would prefer something maybe at least 11 inches, you know, between 11 and 12 inches. That's my preference as far as a wheel size goes, but it was cool. I didn't have a problem with it. I do love the suede. Suede feels great in your hands, and I really enjoyed that. Next up, the buttons. Buttons provide a nice quality click. They're not super high quality buttons, but the clicking function feels really good. Has all the standard Xbox buttons on it. The D-pad is a little odd because it's just these 4 buttons. I would have preferred a standard D-pad, but those buttons work fine. You know, they get the job done. I'm able to navigate the way I normally do, so I definitely didn't have an issue with them. It's just different, just like I was talking about the paddles being different. So next up, let's talk about the pedals, and as you can see, I have a few props here in front of me. Actually, with my replacement wheel, I got a manual, which definitely showed me more about the installation, which actually would have probably made my unboxing a little less boring because it showed exactly how to install things, and it showed what this piece was for. And I'd actually like to thank Vesa Kella and LogiForce86 in the YouTube comments of my unboxing. They pointed me to a PDF of the manual in a couple different places. And actually Mad Catz had sent me a PDF as well. So I found out what this is, and it basically attaches to, and I didn't, as you can see, I did not attach it because, well, what it is it attaches to the throttle to stop your foot from slipping off. At least I'm assuming that's what it's for. I have a fairly large foot. I'm kind of a tall guy. I'm 6'4", and I have a size 12 shoe. And my size 12 shoe would definitely be pushed probably more towards the brake, so I opted to not install this anyway. So let's talk a little bit more about the pedals since I started talking about them with this. They're lightweight. Add those skis and they definitely make them a little more substantial and make them feel heavier. And that's only for mounting them to cockpits, which I didn't use because I just, again, mounted them to that center post on the play seat and it worked great. So I would imagine using those skis and attaching them to a rig would make it a solid option. By the way, as you saw in my unboxing, there's 4 bags of hardware, so this thing comes with all the hardware you need to attach the wheel, attach the pedals, you know, put everything together, attach this thing. And it comes with the hex wrench. So you have everything you need to solidly mount it to a cockpit, or if you want to go to the desk, you can do that. Comes with the carpet gripper, so if you're just running at a desk or, you know, at a chair, you know, with the lap wings, at least you have something to keep those pedals in place on the carpet. Again, I didn't try that either because I want to get the best performance possible out of these things. Sure, I could have tested them with that, but you know, this is inside sim racing, and a lot of times we get crap for covering arcade stuff, and I think that would really be going away from sim racing, and I'm trying to simulate racing as best I can, and attaching it to a cockpit definitely does that for you. So a little bit more on the pedals. I like the adjustable tension. I think I pretty much maxed out the brake as far as making it as heavy as possible. You can do the same thing on the throttle, but I liked them. I thought the pedals were good, especially since they offered that, you know, progression on the brake. I've talked about that many times, where I like a progressive brake, or something that you're using muscle memory versus trying to figure out where that position is, you know, for threshold braking. And it definitely worked well. I like the pedals. They do feel cheap when you're holding them and touching them, but when you're driving with them, you don't think about that. They do the job, and they do it really well. So I think that's about it as far as some opinion and going over the box cover stuff. Now I'm going to go over the pros and cons, and basically it's just going to recap a lot of the things that I already talked about. First, the pros: leather or suede wrapped rim. Second up, adjustable tension on the pedals, which gives the brake a nice progressive feel. Adjustable spacing on the pedals, and lots of them, and there's lots of different ways you can space them and adjust them. 900 degrees to 270 degrees of rotation with a flip of a switch, and you can also run it anywhere in between with the slider in game in Forza. Lots of mounting options, especially for playseat owners that can attach it directly to the center floor post. Another pro: modular design for future upgrades. And the final pro: can adjust the wheel rake in 4 increments from 0 to 15 degrees. I like that a lot because, again, I was able to, I'm a taller guy, and sometimes my knees may hit the wheel, and this got things right into a good position for me, so I like that. Now on to the cons. The mechanism and force feedback in general is rough, or as I mentioned earlier, gritty, or feels like it's grinding to a bit. Notchy, I guess, would be another good way to describe it. Next up, force feedback's kind of weak. No feeling really over the rumble strips. And then there's no vibration. I turned my vibration up to 100 and then turned it back down to 0, and I didn't feel a difference there. And I don't know, maybe that's going to be something that comes in a firmware upgrade. I don't know, or maybe because of the way it's with the gears and the dual force feedback motors, it just doesn't have that option built in. But I didn't feel any vibration, where on the TX I do. Next con: only compatible with Xbox One, and currently only one game. Forza 5 is the only title compatible with this wheel and pedal set currently. Next up, a tad pricey compared to the competition. I think this wheel and pedal set would have been priced, if it would have been priced right around the $250 range or less, I think it would have been a good buy. At $400 currently, and a lot of times that's, when a new product comes out, it starts a little high, and then, due to demand and stuff and people wanting it, and then the prices start to drop over time. I'd like to see this wheel and pedal set at around $250, and maybe they can shave some of these extra plastic parts that I don't think are needed, the simulated footwell, stuff like that. They can dump all that stuff and, get the price of this thing down to $250, and I think it'd be a good buy at that price. Hopefully work on that grinding notchiness feel, which I'm sure, because again, I don't feel it right here when I'm turning it. I only feel it when that force feedback kicks in Forza. So maybe that's why I would have liked to try it on the PC, to try it on a bunch of different titles just to see how they react. And then the last con: pedals are mostly plastic and very lightweight. But again, as I mentioned, that didn't really affect my driving, and I liked the adjustability on them. So both on the ability to move the pedal faces, and I like that adjustable spring tension. That was really cool. My final thoughts. First up, it's not a bad wheel and pedal set. I do think it's, again, overpriced, and feel it's more of an entry-level setup, similar to like a Logitech DF-GT. It does offer more functionality in the pedal department compared to the Logitech DF-GT, but as far as the way it feels, I think Logitech DF-GT currently has a beat, and there's a lot more titles compatible with it. Yes, it's been on the market for a long time, and hopefully over time they can fix that, but again, I think it's a little overpriced. So that's really going to wrap it up. I really don't have much more to say about it. Would I recommend it? If it was lower, if the price was lower, yes, I think I could. But for now, I think if you're on the fence on which wheel to get for the Xbox One, and you're thinking about racing on the PC, you may want to consider its competition. But I'd say it's a good effort. I think it's definitely a step up from the last Mad Catz wheel and pedal set that I tried, especially on the pedal set. I like the pedals a lot. I think they just need to work out some of the bugs, and it seems like they may be able to with the firmware upgrades. So I'm hoping that they will. I'd like to thank Mad Catz for sending me this setup. I really appreciate it. Again, it's pretty cool. Just not sure if I'd recommend it or not at this point. Maybe in the future, after some upgrades, and if they have them, I'll do another a re-look at it, and maybe my opinion will change. For now, hopefully you've enjoyed this show. Would love for you to join us at our website, isrtv.com. Matter of fact, I'll have a link right here that you can click on if you're on your PC, if you're on your tablet or mobile phone. Join us at isrtv.com. Daily news blogs. We've got a forum with lots going on in there, great community. Ask a question in our Getting Started section if you're just getting started in sim racing, and I'll answer it, or one of the many cool people in our community. Join us on Facebook and Twitter, like us there and follow us there. And hey, give us a thumbs up on this video if you liked it. I'd appreciate it if you didn't thumbs down it if you don't like the product. If you enjoyed this video and my take on it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. It just really helps draw more views to our channel. And subscribe to us here on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. So that's going to wrap things up. I'm Darin Ganji. I'll see you guys next time.